All right, welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about sharpening what is without a doubt your most powerful tool, your own eye. We're going to train it to see color and shade just like a master. The goal here, to ditch all that guesswork and start making judgments with real confidence. So, let's dive right in. Let's just start with a fundamental truth in our industry. Sure, a machine like a spectrophotometer, it can give you all the data, it can point you in the right direction, but that final, absolutely perfect match, well, that comes from a well-trained human eye. And honestly, this is the skill that really separates the pros from the amateurs. So just how fast can a pro really be? 30 seconds. That's it. That is all it takes. I mean, with a trained eye, you can look at a sample for half a minute and know exactly what needs to be done. Is it too dark, a little too yellow, maybe a bit greenish, or is the whole shade just dull? That's the kind of power we are unlocking today. So, what's the big secret behind this expert eye? Well, I'll tell you, it's not magic, it's a method. And we're about to break down exactly how you can see, analyze, and correct color, all without having to rely on a machine. Now, you might be thinking, hang on, why can't I just rely on the machine? And that's a fair question. But the reality is, on the production floor, you just don't always have that luxury. Decisions have to be made fast, right then and there, with your eyes. So this skill, it's not just a nice bonus to have, it's absolutely essential. And this really highlights the two different worlds, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got the untrained eye. That leads to a ton of guesswork, random corrections, and just wasted resources. We're talking time, material, and, of course, money. But a trained eye? That leads you to the correct adjustment on the very first try. That kind of efficiency is exactly what makes visual judgment the #1 qualification for an expert. Okay, so before we jump into the method itself, we've got to understand the instrument we're using, the human eye. See, color perception isn't absolute. It's actually influenced by everything around it: the intensity of the light, the texture of the surface, the color of the background, even the angle you're looking from. It's why the exact same sample can look totally different under a fluorescent light compared to, say, natural sunlight. So how do we deal with all those variables? Simple. We standardize. The professional standard, the way the pros do it, is to always evaluate color against a neutral gray background. It basically removes all that environmental noise and lets you see the true, unadulterated shade. All right, now let's get to the real heart of it. We're about to learn a simple, repeatable, 3-step method that you can use to accurately read any shade. Seriously, this is the cornerstone of training your eye like a pro. So, what exactly is this method? How can you systematically look at something and know you're finding the right answer every single time? Okay, let's break it down. Okay, here it is, the 3-step method. Step 1 is the light/dark check. You're going to look from a bit of a distance and just ask yourself, does the sample seem to pop out at you, meaning it's darker, or does it kind of recede, meaning it's lighter? Step 2, hue direction. You've got 5 seconds. That's it. Identify the color bias. Is it leaning red, yellow, blue, or green? Trust your first instinct here. And finally, step 3, judge if the shade is dull versus clean. Does it look vibrant and fresh, or is it kind of muddy and grayish? And let's quickly define what we mean by dull. A dull shade is one that just looks muddy or has a grayish cast to it, and understanding why is super important. It could be because of overmixing, maybe using the wrong pigment combinations, or it could even be from poor pigment dispersion in the base material itself. Okay, so you've got the 3 basic steps down. Now it is time to level up. We're going to learn how to see beyond the main surface color and start identifying the hidden undertone. And let me tell you, this is the real key to making expert-level corrections. I absolutely love this saying because it is just so true. The undertone really is your compass. It's what guides you to the right adjustment. If you ignore it, you're basically just navigating blind. So how do you actually see this undertone? Well, the trick is to look at the sample in 2 different ways. The thick, main area, that's what we call the mass tone. That shows you things like strength and opacity. But the thin area, right along the edge, that's where the magic happens. That's where the undertone, the hue shift, and the transparency are all revealed. And why does this matter so much? Well, here's the thing. You can have what looks like a perfect match on the mass tone, but if that undertone in the thin area is off, I guarantee you that shade is going to fail in production. The final product just won't look right, especially when you see it in different lighting or from different angles. You absolutely have to match both. Okay, so now you know how to accurately analyze a shade. It's time to move from analysis to action.
Let's get into the rules for making the perfect correction, all based on what your eyes are telling you.
Think of this table as your ultimate cheat sheet. If the shade is too dark, pretty simple. You add white or a filler. If it's too light, you'll add more base polymer or more of your color pigment. Seeing a yellowish tint, you'll do a little micro correction with its opposite on the color wheel, so blue or violet, and that'll neutralize it right out. This chart gives you a direct, logical fix for every single problem your eye identifies. Now, becoming an expert isn't just about knowing what to do, it's also about knowing what not to do. So you've got to steer clear of these common mistakes. For instance, looking at the sample way too close can actually overwhelm your eyes, and you'll miss the overall hue. Forgetting to use a neutral background, only judging from one angle, ignoring gloss differences. I mean, all of these are little traps that can easily lead you down the wrong path. All right, let's bring this all home. The whole goal here today was to move you from guessing to judging. From now on, you're not just hoping you get the right answer, you now have a concrete method to find it. Think about it. In just the last few minutes, you've learned the basics of training your eye, our 3-step visual reading method, how to spot an undertone, the crucial difference between a mastone and a thin layer analysis, and the rules for visual correction. That is one powerful new toolkit you've just picked up. So, you've got the theory now, you've got the method, the only thing left is practice. So the real question is, are you ready for day 7 tomorrow? We'll see you then.
Day 6 you learn eye training basic 3-step visual reading, undertone, undertone by eye, mastone, thin layer, visual correction rule. Tomorrow day 7 hands-on practice, set correction plan, machine or no machine, decide डायरेक्शन, रियल इंडस्ट्री केस। डे 7 के बाद आप सेट को देखकर गैस नहीं जज कर पाओगे। हिट द लाइक एंड कमेंट। थैंक यू।